in the rear, and they don't want to deal with it.
And Aux, Wukong today has been big. Of course, we saw it once, but Wukong throughout the LPL, remember before I was telling you, it's 18-6. 75% win rate is just nuts. It's been pushed up yet again here today. We're going to be trying to take the Viego in against it, and you know, for Karsa, amazing champion that can be pretty easy to handle here. With what else is available in Aux, the LeBlanc that might left be open for RNG could be a good response, considering that it has often been banned away for all of today's series.
Yeah, and you actually think like Ari, Lissandra, Galio are all picks you would be able to pick into LeBlanc, and they're all banned, so potentially giving them more strength. But RNG commit to the Gwen. You know, I was just talking about MSI finals. They also picked Gwen every game they could in MSI finals, and they're doing the same. Clearly showing how much they value the pick. Breathe had a fantastic game on it previously, farmed up to be a monster. This now means V5 get choice to the bot lane. Kalista, Renata again, I have to expect. And RNG, they can't respond in full. They can pick one part of the bot lane. They can pick like an AD carrier support, or they pick a mid here. I personally think they might take a mid, simply because of the fact that a lot of the bot lanes at the moment, like Lucian, Nami, Ezreal, Karma, you need both. So if you pick one of them, the other's going to get banned out. And as you can see, they opt to go for the Corki for Xiaohu.
Especially when the dynamic of RNG so far in the drafts has been mid-priority quite early on. You know, not the Ari, not the big power picks, but it was the Azir in game 1, the Lissandra in game 2. Now the Corki coming through Aux. So we have a decent amount of scaling for RNG. We have ourselves a nice bit of spacing out of with Xiaohu too. And as you were saying before, there is now no bottom lane for RNG. So we expect bans from V5 to be quite simple. For RNG, solo lane is now targeted with both Rich and Dream not having their champions locked in.
Yeah, I expect like Ezreal Lucian to come out as a ban. As much as we've seen Kalista Renata be the counter to Lucian Nami early, we've seen that if RNG can set up for it, they can deny that from happening. So I think you just ban away those bot lane combos and limit the effectiveness. RNG, you're trying to target some of the more active mids. Silas obviously really strong in skirmishes. LeBlanc, they even hovered themselves. That's one thing that's going to be said for this game. They don't have the same power they had before in the mid lane. This is not Lissandra who can just go where she wants, make things happen. This is a scaling champ. This is a champion without as much early pressure. You're relying on the packages and him being stronger later. And we'll see what bot lane RNG end up opting into. Tristana is something that was present at MSI that works. Aphelios is something that works well. Into the Kalista was actually banned away by V5 in the second game for that reason.
So Aux, to me, so far, it looks like it's going to be pretty straight ahead. I'll be talking to you about RNG's composition because we have scaling immensely there. But on the other side for V5, that all-in, that mid 2v2, lots of knockups, knockup galore, and grouped up in a tight space. How fun it would be if V5 caught someone unaware.
Yeah, a lot of dive added on to V5. You know, as much as we say the bot lane is the kite back bot lane, you have that dive potential. You can do the shockwave combo with the Wukong and then put the Renata ult on top, really threatening. And it looks like RNG trying to decide what support they want. And bear in mind, the Aphelios kind of just wants to get up close to Kalista's face and then ward her off. Braum makes a lot of sense. It is going to be a bit of a rougher lane because Braum can't do that much to object like the double ranged harass. But you should be able to survive it. And then when it comes later on into the team fights, you know, Kalista's going to struggle to stack up Rens because Braum can move forwards, pop the shield up. The passive stacking is very powerful. But ultimately, I feel like RNG, kind of similar to game 1, have taken fate out of their hands. This has given a lot of power to V5 to set the pace of the game.
Which is what V5 love. I mean, V5 in controlling the reins, Orcs. Like, game number 2, the problem was that Xiaohu was moving to the side lanes. These picks were incredible. The setups for the little skirmishes as well, right? If I dare say. So this time around, we get a V5 composition that wants to make plays happen. And it's so good that you referenced game number 1, considering that V5 held the reins and took it to an easy close. So nice to see again. And Orcs, where do we start looking? Because throughout the lanes, when you have so many lanes that can work out, and Karsa has so many options, what do you pick here?
I think ganking lanes might be a bit tricky because you're going to have prio mid other than when the wave bounces. And even like when there's a moment when the wave bounces, you can gank Corki. He's got the Valkyrie. Yep. Top lane, Gwen is quite hard to gank. You don't have that much setup from Gnar unless he has Mega. But post 6, you could definitely do it, especially with a stacked wave. And bot, again, bot isn't the easiest to gank. They're not going to have prio for most of the lane. Maybe on a wave bounce again, you could find a window. But for the most part, I think it's about the skirmishes in the jungle. If you manage to get the Wukong, especially post 6, can really be a massive threat.
Well, for V5, holding the reins for their game number 3, I'm sure that's how they like it. But for RNG, after the bounce back in the second game, still not to be underestimated. They're still MSI champions. They've come into this series with added respect, considering that last game was all about Xiaohu, and I will say Ming as well. Aux, definitely MVP.
Dude,
MVP
Ming was a beast. And now he's going for the carry Braum performance. Interesting, interesting.
Shame it's not lethal tempo, Halo Blades Braum, which we have actually seen a couple of times as well. But Exhaust taken down on the bottom lane.
We've seen a lot in the LPL, let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
Some things good, some things we won't talk about.
Okay, well said, well put. Where would you like to kick it off first? Because this Karsa goes in pretty deep. This might be a vertical start to, what, to isolate Richard. Oh, no. He missed the hop. Breathe ghosted. Of course he does. When you miss the E over the wall as a Gnar, Breathe gets excited. The snip just starts Rich off
Lord.
so badly.
Well, that's lane lost. So I was going to say, I kind of like the vertical jungling because in terms of lane... Wait, Rich again? What are you doing?
Rich thought he could E, get off a minion. He's got to burn the flash. Aux, he's got to burn the flash. Or at least he just almost dies. I mean, what the heck? How much are you molding? Oh, okay.
I don't even know what to say to that, man. My mind is blown. He did it once, not once, but twice.
Dude, okay. Well, we've got a gank mid. The vertical jungle, massive. Wasn't spotted out, and Karsa forcing the flash of Xiaohu coming in with a quick E. Just like game 1, the level 2 gank, but this time has a lot more tools to use. We just got action all over. I'm glad this could be the way we end. His handshake is a bit too short onto Gala. The 2v2 in the bottom lane set up for success once again. And Aux, Photic and ppgod, that's a flashback. Mid with a gank here. Dream's okay, knowing that Way's there. Karsa on a bit of a tear, now back to his own side.
Yeah, and especially because Rich kind of messed the wave up so much on the top side.
A little bit.
Feels like Way should be able to fight Karsa, but Karsa's red here, and Orianna can move, so...
True. Wukong against an AD jungler here. An easy stack up as Way caught out. Breathe has the advantage in the top lane, but will he get here in time? Way's trying to buy time, but Dream comes through the smite. Healing up as Sheldon's getting the W. What is with people in this game and missing the dashes over the wall? Breeze's turn now. The snip comes through, the true damage helping out, but Dream, even as an Orianna, has enough. Xiaohu's burned his flash. He can't follow up. It's V5 with a 2-for-1. Aux, people can't leap in this game 3.
Yep, it was messy is what I'll say, but ultimately I just think it was a mistake from Way. You go for this aggressive play, you know you're not going to have control of the mid wave. You fortunately have control of top because Breathe is stomping Rich so hard, but then you get chunked out so early before the fight. Already have Conquer stacked for Karsa. Way is just trying to get away, and I'm not sure what the game plan was with that flash. I thought he'd flash over the wall, you know, but maybe he wanted to stay in range for the reset. I don't know, but regardless, not only does he go down, but he costs the life of his top laner as well.
Well, that life cost a kill to the jungler and a Dream.
Look at this once more. He comes back on the map. Only his Krugs are available, so of course he's like, well, I need to do something. He tries to invade, doesn't find a red. He's like, I guess I'm gonna gank.
Well, maybe you can get an angle in now that ppgod's been hit by the Winter Spy, but the handshake's great. Waves coming in, the root comes down, cleanse immediately for the turn. Photic and ppgod looking at this very with bated breath. The spears are in, Karsa's coming in as well. RNG, it's just a rehash of game number 1 as Way saves his support's life. And Aux, I mean, the biggest flashback I think I've had in the LPL so far. Game 1 looks just like this.
Yeah, and you saw as well, they try to go for ppgod with no flash, but the passive of Braum timed out, so they couldn't lock him in place. Karsa moves down, and Karsa's been having a field day so far. No, if he steals the Gromp, oh my lord, that would have been game over. But think about it, right? Wade just had so little do, and now Karsa's stealing away his wolves as well. He's losing everything.
Aux, I went to the zoo yesterday. I saw the chimpanzees. I saw the apes. None of them were as alpha as this, and I saw the white-back gorilla, the king of the tribe. Karsa right now being a bit of a king himself.
Yeah, I mean, he has the confidence. He knows his lane, his mid lane is going to permanently have prio. Dream can always move first. It puts you in a really difficult position. He probably should have had a bit more prio top lane if it wasn't for the fact Rich really ran down the level 1 and it's now 20 CS down. But regardless, Karsa's still happy with the state of the game.
Well, Breed's going to be the shining light for RNG then, isn't he? Because Breed is 15 CS up, as you were saying. Rich kind of threw that one in the bin. What a fun game to finish off the series. Our match of the week is Dream is a bit too far forward, and look, Karsa's nowhere nearby. His flash burnt in the previous trade. He can't kill Xiaohu. And right now, this should be a free kill over to RNG. Photic's trying to come up with the dissonance, the movement speed, Dream getting to his bottom lane. Not going to be a kill.
This is the thing. Imagine if Xiaohu's on something like Lissandra. He's dead. Yeah. Twice over. The fact is, it's a Corki. So Wei, he's trying to make things happen, trying to pick up jungle camps, doesn't work. Tries to go for a gank bot, doesn't work. He's like, okay, let's go back to the default. Let's gank Xiaohu. Doesn't work. The Orianna just walks away with no flash. So Wei kind of feeling a little bit lost in this game. 3 camps down on Karsa, about to be 4 as well as he clears up the Gromp. Not a good start.
Yeah, I'd say. 1k gold lead, by the way, for V5. That CS lead is going to get bigger. Karsa, this is his jungle. He is imitating... I don't know who the most famous ape is. I'm not going to say Harambe because obviously he didn't really live on. Karsa, the opposite right now. He's a level up over Wei. Maybe Wei is Harambe, except he's not playing the monkey champion. So I don't know, Orcs. I don't know where to take this, and I don't know what part it becomes offensive.
I don't know either, so I'm going to simply take a look at the bot lane. We do see ppgod and Photic have a decent amount of CS lead. Again, it's expected in the laning phase. Braum not... The thing with Braum is he's not really able to punish ranged champions that effectively, because you can queue them, but then you have to gap close to stack the passive. He's kind of just at the whim of their harass. But all in all, I think being 10 CS down isn't a big deal, especially considering game 1 when they were getting their tower destroyed and Senna had like 1 billion souls. That was definitely leaving something to be desired.
But still, at the very least, 10 CS. I mean, you know, V5's start has been brilliant here. And as Photic and ppgod once again get comfort here with the Berserker Greaves on this Kalista, I'm looking at Karsa. He's going to be spotted out here with a lens over the wall, control ward. I mean, he can't do too much more. But at the very least, Dragon's here, while Herald has now spawned. And V5 know that the bottom lane is definitely stronger than the top, as we've already talked about.
Yeah, and you have the Wukong Orianna combo online. So really powerful in this team fights or skirmishes if you do want to start one up. But I think might lean towards the Herald for the Dragon, potentially. They have prio on bot lane, so if they can crash this wave, they can rotate up. And you can see Karsa's beelining over. The only problem is Herald is close to top lane. And top lane isn't going so hot right now. Rich really struggling, which is surprising considering they already played this lane matchup. But after that level 1, yeah, not too surprising.
Yeah, but Breathe is going in for the all-in. Oh, it's a bait. Rich, he might have entered early, Orcs, but Karsa's going to take it all back. And suddenly, as we pan down to the bottom lane, thumbs go in the air. Photic cleanses away. Ming is exhausted, and V5 getting challenged in the 2v2 while they lose their top laner and their Herald. V5 still, the early game belongs to them.
Yep, and I feel like Breathe channeling a little bit of the top laner he replaced. Been there, going for the aggressive trade to try and deny the honey fruit and just gets caught out by Karsa. Should have expected. I mean, the thing is, like, you know your jungler is on the other side of the map. You know your bot lane are trying to play aggressive because they have support. Going for an aggressive play like that is just going to backfire. Now, fortunately, because of this, Gala can use the red-white to get a quick plate, and they get the dragon. Early dragon for RNG, definitely nice to lean into the scaling, but definitely not a solution. And something to note is, although there's fantastic scaling, like Gwen, Corki, and Aphelios all outscale their counterparts, the thing to note is that the team fighting is really strong still. That Orianna, Wukong combo, very threatening. If you end up in a team fight and you connect that onto the right targets, it doesn't matter how late in the game it is, they will just lose.
Yeah. Will they even get to that point at this point? You know, that's what we're questioning. 1k gold lead, 10 minutes into the game, and Divine Thunder are now finished here for Karsa. Dream in a great position as this Orianna too. And, you know, Orcs, we had a bit of a line that we haven't been able to use because in this series so far. You know, Xiaohu in game 2 in the Lissandra. Game 1, Dream had a really good Ari game, as Rich is going to be walking into this quite shortly. Breathe is scary, and he knows this. But coming back to it, we had a line that we didn't get to use, which was, you know, turning Dream into a nightmare. And I liked it particularly because Dream is someone who has been underestimated. He's filling rookie shoes, and they are massive shoes. No one's ever going to fill them. I feel like Knight even struggles at times. But at this point, you know, Dream versus Xiaohu was kind of the rookie versus the expert in League of Legends in the LPL. And Dream turning it into a nightmare, it has to be this next level of play, kind of like we saw in game number 1. And when you keep talking about how the Orianna can set up with the Wukong here, Karsa and Dream can definitely become a living nightmare for RNG with how this game started, considering that Karsa once again, by himself with the blue buff, trying to take Wei's jungle from under his nose.
Trying to challenge as much as possible and just keep applying that pressure. A big thing when you have Wukong against Viego is they both have the same first item, the Divine Sundra. And so finishing it first gives you a massive spike. And Karsa, who already felt confident to challenge Wei in the 1v1 and now duel him, feels even more so. And Wei has to be very wary. Doesn't want to make plays with that teammates. Wants to ideally find low HP targets and get resets. And again, for RNG, right? Xiaohu double stacking with the Manamune and the Cole. They're just trying to play it slow, and Dream, who's been applying pressure and getting plates mid, will be rewarded with the bonus here from his jungler.
And ppgod's going to make sure that happens as well. So 107 spread out, even the support getting some as Ming with the Winter's Bite, handshake back. Dream sends out a bit of damage, but remember, Orianna still without her first item, so no shockwave going to be used. Manamune from Xiaohu. You pointed out that a little bit before here with Cole. So we're going to be watching out as bottom lane. Photic without his support. Gala flashing forward. Yep.
Wow.
That's what you expect. That's an MSI champ before his shockwave used from Ming. V5 sticking around for way too long. And even though the early game was grand, they're just throwing it all away to RNG through 2 different lanes.
That was just horrific from V5.
Oh,
and there's more coming
as well. Yep, Xiaohu to poke him down. Good kite away, but all he needs is an auto. RNG are given 2 more kills. Aux, the gold lead, gone practically.
I'm just shocked. Like, Photic just walking up to the Aphelios. And this is kind of why you pick this matchup, because once you get up close to Aphelios, there's not many champions he loses to in the AD carry role. Just decimates Photic with the Gravitum ultimate. And then mid lane, I don't even know what happened there. Just stepping up too far, getting engaged on the power of the Braum with that stacking passive. And a lot of gold given back over to RNG, which they will definitely appreciate.
And remember, the top's not going well. So, Breed, even though he's 1 and 2, well, it's going better now, Aux, but, you know, what we saw in the early part of the game was pretty horrendous from Rich. And for V5, they're the ones that held control of the game, thanks to Karsa, thanks to what the early game was. I have a look at a replay here because Photic getting caught out, Gala just autos, Gravitum, okay, yeah. Fancy replay.
I remember the Gravitum gives that empowered slow, and Photic's cleanse wasn't available. And the thing is, you flash it on auto, still gonna hit mid. Yeah, ppgod just walking up, so greedy for the plate. Both burn flashes, the shockwave just slows the Braum down, but the passive already applied. I will say the Renata ult does help to keep Dream alive for longer, but it just means ppgod's definitely dead, and Dream gets chased down. So, RNG in a pretty positive position. Now, it is past that 10-minute mark. There's a dragon in 30 seconds, and Xiaohu just recalled, so I think they're going to package to try and contest this. Breed did just TP top, though, so this is going to be a 4-man contest from RNG unless they can get Breed to move down in time.
I mean, look at the items, Aux. There's an advantage here for RNG, but Wei starts out getting pulled in. Loyalty program, handshake, both have been used by ppgod, and there's a bit of poke damage on top of the jungler of RNG. But second dragon, now an opportunity here in Aux. I want to point out, you said the package is there. They've also got a mythic advantage by 2 items here. Now, Manamune is what I'm talking about with Xiaohu, so not a mythic, but items still strong there for RNG as they look to kick this one off.
TP coming in, and Breathe is nowhere near.
Dragon's gone, package down, and Dragon's gone, but Karsa starts spinning it out onto Xiaohu. The target changes. The hostile takeover misses and does nothing, but Xiaohu dies at the very least. It's V5 trading a kill for the loss of the dragon. And with Herald spawning soon, hopefully V5 find their mark elsewhere. But for RNG, they're stacking dragons with the scaling comp walks. It's a pretty good look.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're honestly fine with that. Xiaohu uses his package to kind of disrupt the rest of V5 from chasing. Mid tower goes down, but it was low anyway. It wasn't going to last long. And you get some alone time top for Breathe. I'm not going to sit here and say it was great, but the second dragon really limits the ability of V5 to threaten soul stacking, to threaten Elder anytime soon. And if RNG find themselves an Ocean Soul, fantastic for the likes of Breathe, the likes of Wei. Remember, Grievous Wounds has been nerfed on this patch. 25% base, 40% empowered, the healing hard to mitigate. And Xiaohu, I think the package maybe could have been used a bit more towards his own team, so he didn't get left out to dry. But regardless, he goes down. It's just one kill. It's whatever.
It's whatever. Okay, fair enough. Well,
whatever, Trevor.
Let's say whatever to bottom lane. Full all in this time, though. Oh, no! ppgod! It's missed! Gala gets in first, then onto Photic to bail out there. Photic survives, but that was just horrendous, Aux.
That was rough. There's no other way to spin that. That was rough.
Oh, it was bogus.
You know...
Holy. I mean, that's
can't be missing those. With no flash.
Aux, have you ever seen the outplay with Rise? You know that really old school League of Legends outplay? The best outplay is no outplay. And Gala just stood there. You know, maybe they thought he had flash up and available again, but
they were like,
obviously
guys, he's the MSI champion. He's thinking 17 steps ahead. Where's he going to move? And Gala's like, oh, I should probably dodge or something. And then just stand still.
Maybe the best dodge is no dodge, you know. Outthink your original thought.
He just mind gamed them so hard.
Yeah. Well, Gala with the 1v2 that without bailout would have been a 1v2. It was traded off by Photic in the end, but still, this Aphelios getting resources under his belt. While V5 get the turret, just remember that RNG still have themselves getting towards the second item now. So look at the replay. Aux, this didn't look too good. Oh,
I would have thought that hit.
Actually,
I would have thought that would have hit.
Maybe we have to talk to Right Game.
I would have thought that would have hit.
Wait, listen. Yeah, I take back my insults.
This reminds me of a story I have. So, if anyone doesn't know, I used to play competitive. And once upon a time, my AD carry Inax, I was a support. And we played a bot lane 2v2. And the enemy support, he was playing Kalista. And he ulted me, and he wanted me to go on the enemy AD carry, obviously. But the enemy support was like body blocking, right? Standing in the way, so I couldn't hit him. I ended up just hitting the support. We ended up not winning the 2v2. And he says to me afterwards, why don't you just hit the AD carry? I was like, how? He was blocking. And he was like, wait, is it not a skill shot? And I was like, dude, you're a pro player.
You should know.
And you know what? ppgod kind of wishing that was a skill shot right there. Sorry to rag on you, Inax. It was a fun moment, but yeah.
Dude, I mean, can't believe you used to support Inax. Kind of, you know, name dropping Aux, eh? He used to be a big deal. He used to be a big deal.
Flex. It's unfortunately, you know, Kalista ult is a skill shot, unlike Nautilus Q, which is not, as we have seen by the likes of Ming, which is why it's been banned so heavily. But anyway, let's take stock. It's a minute until that dragon. 2 dragons to RNG. They will likely be looking to sync up the package again and hopefully secure that. But for now, Herald has been thrown down bot for Rich to use.
Well, as it pushes in, this is going to open up the map a little bit more for V5. They'll be at 3 turrets, but RNG with the trade in the top side. Teleport being burned by Xiaohu. Maybe scared he was at threat of a dive here, or also just wanted to get the bot faster because V5 were continuing the push with the Herald coming in pretty fast, and they needed support. Yeah,
ideally they just don't want this to get a second tower. The charge is okay because someone needs to find a window to punish, but they end up trading 1-for-1 on towers. The charge is not a big deal considering they used Herald. But I expect Xiaohu will probably want to reset soon and pick up the package. This is the thing. The nerf that took Corki at the meta was the package timing. Oh, Ming. Nice, good.
Okay, he's got a blast.
The thing that took Corki at the meta was the package timing. It's now a 5-minute cooldown, the same as Dragon respawn timer. So you have very little wiggle room to pick it up. And it basically means before what you do is you pick a package, you be there in time, you poke everyone out, and then you have package for the fight. Now, you grab package literally close to the dragon spawning. Yeah, and they basically said, look, package is desynced, we're not taking it. So they're actually passing on this dragon because the package was not in time. One thing I have noticed I think is the correct play is if you save your TP for dragon fights, you grab the package and TP in so you don't miss any time. But obviously, Xiaohu, TP, and bot didn't get to do that.
This Wake almost caught out here on the top side. Further to it as well means that, you know, RNG could play like this Aux because they got the first 2 dragons. They can afford to miss a dragon or two. The game continues to go on at a pace where V5 are trying to force this. They've got 2 items on their solo laners, 2 items almost there onto Photic. And they're so desperate here, Aux. They're so desperate to get this inner turret in this bottom side. Open the map a little bit more, and even ppgod getting caught out. The hostile takeover used. It's a good one, but Photic going in face first. The flash enabled. He's actually okay, because Karsa saves the day. This time around, it's a good one as Photic sacrifices his life for the greater good of 3 kills.
And they find the engage. They get it onto them. They get both Xiaohu and Gala, and now they can look towards the Baron. Way with no ultimate. Steel's going to be a hard one to press, but it looks like V5 not even committing without the Kalista there.
Okay. Well, 10 seconds before Photic comes up, and yeah, they're like, no, never mind. They're able to pick up the kills, but nothing more. Replay time here, Aux, because in a narrow choke, V5 just went all into the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not an ideal place to fight, especially with the fact that you have the Renata ultimate, and then the Wukong comes in, just sheer decimation. It felt like RNG just caught with the pants to their ankles on that one.
Yeah. Unlucky for ppgod. Accidentally pressed the bailout on himself instead of Photic, but maybe that was the intention. He'd rather he survived instead.
Hey, he saw Ming last game, and he was like, I'm the carry now.
Yeah, I can be that. Screw Photic. Who cares?
His little tip for any of you aspiring support players: if you're ever in a messy fight, just mouse over that portrait instead. If you're unsure if you're gonna be able to click on them when there's like so much going on, that is.
Maybe press Alt W. Maybe did it on purpose.
Photic's like, you gonna ult me, dude? Are you gonna W me? ppgod's like, yes, I'll W you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's down. Well, at the very least, you know, those 3 kills set up for more vision on top of the Baron. Set up for some of those second items to be completed and move on to the third. V5 right now, you guys can't see this, but the Colonel is getting upset. Now, he's smacking down on the table. And it's probably because RNG are the ones getting frustrated. They're 2k gold behind, but Aux, you said they could close this a little bit.
I'm going to say the other way around. I think V5 is getting frustrated. They want fights. Ooh. They want Baron to go, but they're scared of the enemy team. They see Gala with, you know, red, white, and a Bloodthirster, super tanky. They're like, we want something to happen. We want the engage, and RNG just playing it slow. They keep clearing the vision out, and now this might be a window. Resets have come in. They've cleared the vision. They either look for a fight or they look for the objectives. Way's going to try and get a ward over the wall and will be spotted, but should get out. Yes,
oh, yeah,
he's safe.
In the nick of time, but he pops back over the wall. V5 is still here. Way just walks back in. Heartbreaker out. Karsa's already cycloned once. Second time now up for the cards. Is on the other side. Look at what Rich is doing to Breathe, getting some revenge from the laning phase. At least we're seeing him make an impact now, Aux, because first part of the game was nothing of the sort. As V5 eventually do start the Baron after Way's already ultied out of there.
Yeah, they want to get the TP from Breathe here. Force them to come in, but they're so scared of being poked off by Corki that they end up just backing away. Dragon in a minute 20, and it looks like they're going to reset for that objective. This time, Xiaohu will have the package synced for it, so will add a lot of power. And this often happens when you're facing against Corki teams, is that the team on the opposite side will try and set up for Baron instead. The reason being is that Corki teams will sync package with Dragon, so every Dragon fight, you have to deal with that. It's such a pain, whereas the Baron fights, you can take kind of whenever it's up and available, and then as a result they often don't have package in hand to deal with you. So you can see V5 were trying to make that happen, but they didn't have anyone tanky enough to really stand in the pit because Corki was so threatening, and now the play will be trying to set up for that next Ocean Dragon. If V5, it's a long way away because of those early dragons, but if they can get an Ocean Soul, it would be huge.
It would. 35 seconds. Now, point out that we are at those 2 items strong. Package has been picked up by Xiaohu here. 30 seconds until the objective, so he's going to have it early and maybe set up just as the dragon spawns. For everyone out there, these are our 2 undefeated teams. Now, we have a couple more, but for RNG V5, looking like some of the best in the league right now as well. And this all decides it now. Final game 3. Karsa against his old organization, a big deal as well, considering that he has been instrumental in games 1 and game 2, but in a very negative way. Aux, 3 seconds. RNG have positional advantage for now.
Yeah, but they need to land some poke quickly from Xiaohu and get the health bars lower before the engage comes in.
The package is 3/4 timed out. Xiaohu waiting for his opportunity. They're trying to burst it down quick. RNG looking for their third dragon. Karsa goes invisible, wants to steal it. 1K, he gets it. Gets in and gets out. V5 not overstaying. This ain't the FPX versus Top Esports series. It's a clean V5 escape run all the way up to the Baron.
And now they dash over. They know they've routed them. There's no vision in the area, so they want to force RNG to face check. But RNG have a blue trinket on Corki, and they have a vision on that brush where Rich is.
Oh, Shockwave caught Way as well. Remember, he used the Heartbreaker before. Only just up and available. It might have been up for a while, but at the very least, Way doesn't burn a summoner, but his helper kaput as Gala Gale forces forward. Meanwhile, ppgod getting burnt down by the Baron. Helped out by Xiaohu. Fate's Call used by Photic as the knock up in the backline from Karsa. A two-man Moonlight Vigil while Breathe starts to re-engage. V5 play it dicey, but RNG's poke starting to come online in a scary way.
And now with RNG having the pressure, they can lean towards mid and look to pick up that tower. V5 won't be able to defend it. It's a big objective for RNG to take. It's still, Dragon Secure for V5, absolutely a positive. But those two early Dragons, imagine how different this game would be if V5 would have just picked up Soul there and then. Those early Dragons paying dividends for RNG in this one.
Still a 2k gold lead, but you're right. The Dragons mean so much in this final game. Our MSI champions in a comfortable position despite being 2k gold down. We are getting towards our third item here on Xiaohu's Corki. I will say Dead Man's Plate for Wei is also there. Note that Gala, pickaxe heading into the third. For V5, similarities, but third item for Rich is about the only one I can see on Summoner's Rift unless I'm blind right now. Close to Photic here as well as Ming actually starting up the engage. Rich about to go to Megana. Why are RNG here? Rich missing the ulti though. Maybe a window, but RNG already want to get out of there. They've lost their support on different wavelengths, it seems, after losing the fight before.
Yeah, I mean, Xiaohu wasn't there. He's the one who needs to be landing the poke. Now they're moving to Baron and they don't have a support. They don't have wards. You have to put a control ward over the wall. Oh, this is such a bad spot to be in.
Rich wants Gnar. Wei tags him down. Still absorbs damage from Xiaohu. He's a big deal, this Corki, but he needs to get in there. As the poke from Dream is still going to be impactful if he lands down. Xiaohu can't get a rocket down as Wei wants to steal. V5 want to flip this in game number 3. Really? Is this how it goes? Way over the pit. He doesn't get it. It's the Ren from Photic against all odds. V5 play it dirty.
And that's the thing, it's not a 50-50 with the RNG. You can easily balance between, use to execute at different healths, sync them. I think there, I assume they didn't even let it get down below smite range, because obviously Photic, you know, they didn't have much damage on the Baron because Dream and Rich weren't hitting it. They let him stack up enough spears to just kill it outright. And Wei, he tries, but he's unable to get the objective. And now V5 with Baron in hand. This is the boost they needed to start pushing the pace of the game. The closer they can get to finishing this one off, the better it is going to be for them.
I mean, also, V5 would move to 4. Just remember that if they can finish this off, they move up with JDG. They've dropped their first game today, but they're trying to make sure they don't drop their first series. As against RNG, V5 making a statement here. We talked about Dream turning RNG's life into a nightmare. It begins here with the Baron buff Aux. It begins with a 3k gold lead that now starts becoming more significant as Sonya's Hourglass on Dream. We also know that V5 have themselves that wombo, which RNG can't be caught dead in.
They need the poke to get down. You can see some good poke landing on Dream. They're going.
Glacial Fisher there. Nothing connects though. Nothing connects, and look in the bottom lane. Rich is pushing in, wanting this one to get closer towards a massive gold gap. Doing his own dirty work himself. 3-item Gnar here at level 16. RNG have to respond.
And you can see how different it is. Ming not on that engage. Braum not really able to find windows. Xiaohu as well. Breathe getting decimated in the side lane.
What a change. Breathe was the one doing it early on in the game, but things are flipped over while Rich attracts the attention of the whole of RNG. V5 break the base. Wei is so deep right now, going for the Scuttle Crab, but who's going to be able to defend the base? It's up to Gala by himself, who hits ppgod. One more auto, but the Fate's Call. The re-engage on top of Gala underneath the turret doesn't happen. And as the poke continues to fly through, it's V5 playing the aggressive factor once again. But Wei's on a ward. Wei is on a ward. They know he's coming. The Heartbreaker. ppgod flushes away. No reset for you. A massive mistake from the RNG jungler. MSI or not, RNG getting outclassed again.
Absolutely. And Xiaohu, look at the rocket counter. One big one left. And that's not going to be enough. They're taking this bot lane inhibitor. They are decimating the base of RNG. All it took was that one Baron. The base is in shambles, and they'll head over to pick up their reward, that third dragon as well. The gold lead now 6,000. And RNG needed time. Time doesn't seem to be on the clock.
Ironically, you know, at this point, Way looking for a big moment cost them so much more. Not knowing the way, Orcs, some would say. V5 with their third dragon here leading to the Ocean Soul. A 6k gold lead with the Baron. Baron power play ends at 3.9k, folks. That's how much extra V5 were able to pick up. And despite the scaling, despite RNG being able to move comfortably, Orcs, we got to be realistic here. V5 now have pushed that into a point where RNG are not going to be as relevant as we thought over V5 for a little bit.
And I think the best thing we saw in that game too was RNG finding windows to start fights on the back of Lissandra. Who starts fights on this RNG lineup? Like, Xiaohu's poking. Way, you saw what happens when a Viego dives in, he gets focused down and doesn't get resets. Reed's gonna just run at them. And Ming, he's trying, he is, but it just doesn't work on a Braum. Braum, all you can do is dash forwards and do your ult is so slow. Anyone can easily dodge it. And as a result, they're just struggling. They see windows, they don't have the tools to get them open. And V5 are continuing to apply pressure. They know the super minions are pushing mid and bot. They will go top. This is only 3 members, though. RNG may not know that information.
The bailout, great from ppgod, that can turn the tides of battle. This Kalista, a little bit tanky now as well, so Photic with ppgod by his side has been a bit of a story this series too. V5 looking to push in and find this inner turret, but even the team fight here from Karsa, the angle could be good. He goes in Viz, but Photic as he heads forward is going to be blocked out and Winter's Bite by Ming. 4 members now, Orcs, top side, while Rich is such a nuisance, hitting mid and carrying the wave in.
And it's starting to feel painful for RNG. They can't find those opportunities. And they're staring down the prospect of losing their first series in a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't lose a series at MSI. Did not lose a series in playoffs. Last time they lost, I think, was against WE towards the later end of the regular season. So a long time indeed. And V5 trying to maintain their undefeated streak. Their 2-0 every series record was broken by RNG. But they're looking at closing this one out. Now, a minute until the Baron is up and available. That's something they can play for. The riskier one is the Dragon, because you know package can be synced with it. Package is actually up now, so a bit sooner. But they probably will save that for the Dragon. The thing is, the Dragon has the advantages that you're not taking Baron damage. And also, even if RNG get it, it doesn't give them much. Whereas it gives V5 soul. We'll see what decision is made. You can see them fishing for opportunities. And Rich has been monstrous. After, I'm gonna be real, he inted level 1 and completely regained composure in this game.
Oh yeah, I mean that was the funniest hop I think I've ever seen in pro play, Orcs. And then suddenly, Rich now 3-0-3, doing a number on Breathe on this Gwen. He's 4 items strong now with the Force of Nature, beating Breathe in items as well. We didn't get to talk about the new top laner as, oh my god, this is like an LCS segment. Orcs, make some circles on the minimap while we look for vision.
I'm gesturing, but they're not coming up.
Oh my god, we don't have the
not
technology.
Much vision. And RNG are struggling to get out of base. There's this one like little line they're trying to maintain where Wei and Ming are, just so they have a path to the Baron to get over the wall. And basically, if they think the Baron's going, they'll blue trinket or find another way for vision, and then they'll just walk through where Wei is now and try for the steal. It has been started. The Ren's built up. And remember, steals aren't very good against Kalista.
They're not. Like last time, the Ren got it without the smite. Coming through, V5. Look to do it again as Wei wants to steal. 3k over the wall. Watch the Ren again. It goes through, but this time it's a smite. RNG can't deny it. V5 in front of their faces get Baron again, adding insult to injury.
And this is the problem, is that Photic will say when he is rending, he will say, like, count down to the rend. So even when it's not enough damage to kill it, Karsa's ready. He knows exactly when to smite. Whereas Wei, he's guessing. He's guessing when he has to go in the pit. He's guessing when the Ren's going to be. And remember, think how much damage the Ren does. If you jump in before Photic is going to Ren, they can just hold it. So Baron once again for V5. Karsa gets chunked. V5 trying to make the final push.
Because Baron, you're right, the final push going to come through from it, but Rich is the one I'm concerned about. RNG putting their attention to him once again, but as soon as that happens, the wave channeled in, and V5 now pushing once more. Good damage from Xiaohu, though. Phosphorus Bomb denied, and The redemption that flies through helps out, but now RNG, their final play, their line in the sand of this series is Karsa gets a Cyclone, but this could be good for RNG. His Breathe has a great angle. Karsa running for his life, but for V5, they still don't have their 5th member. He's in Mega, but RNG won't be caught with their pants down, and that's one denial of the Baron with a lot used by RNG.
It's just so hard to find your way in. The fact that Photic and ppgod already, Kalista and renata, notoriously difficult to engage on, and you have no engage. You have no primary engage for RNG.
Yep.
Really limited for options, and now Dragon is on the cards. TP coming in. This is from Xiaohu. He does have the package. They know if they lose this, the game is over.
Aux, there's no Cyclone though on Karsa. So for RNG starting this up with a lot more available, maybe it's okay. Rich doesn't have Mega Gnar, but he's hidden away at Ming. Still the auto attacks hurt like hell. The package you mentioned from Xiaohu. Someone needs to hit that Dragon because V5 are getting time, and Rich is getting an oldie. Hostile takeover used Ove, but V5 unable to seal it away while Xiaohu's package is great. V5 now here. The bailout on ppgod won't do too much. He gets a reset, but that's only the support. Aux, V5 are lost 2. Make that 3. RNG got a dream fight.
And if Gala can find Rich, I think they just end. He has Flash, he has Gravitum, and he doesn't even need it. Will take him down. They can push to the bot lane. It is only Photic for 30 seconds. I don't think they can end before Photic is back up, but they'll do a ton of damage to the base. They'll get the dragon. They got the dragon as well.
Yep.
It might be cutting it close. 15 seconds on Karsa. He will be up before the end. The wave gets cleared. They won't be able to finish as much as they try, but they got the fight. They got the dragon. They keep their hopes alive. My question for V5 is, why was Photic not there?
Well, Aux, you get a replay as per usual in our 21 kill game. We're extending it out finally. Aux, watch it through because it was an attempt to steal from Karsa.
Yeah, he doesn't find the steal, but look mid. Photic is just pushing, and so ppgod gets caught by the package. Normally, you'd get taken out of that by the Kalista ultimate. You're missing all that DPS. I'm not sure why this was the call. I'm not sure why this was the play. If you don't want to contest Dragon, don't contest Dragon. If you just want Karsa to try and steal, let him go. But why are you fighting 4v5 36 minutes into the game?
Without your 80 carry. Aux, a lot of question marks. For V5, they give an edge to RNG. Now, RNG weren't able to end. They weren't able to get too much, but kind of shows you that things are getting a little bit sketchy once again. Gala almost a full build. Xiaohu at full build. Top side in Breathe, hitting there into the 4th item as well. RNG have once again stalled the game. 3 minutes until potential Ocean Soul. At that point, we're going to have ourselves, you know, stronger members of RNG who have immense scaling.
Absolutely. I mean, level 18 hit by Gala and Xiaohu. Dream as well. There's still time to go for Breathe to get his items, but yeah, you've now equalized the dragons. That was the main concern, is V5 getting that Ocean Soul, because we talk about the Corki poke, particularly for people like Wukong and the Gnar. Even Kalista is quite bulky with Shield Bow, GA, and Randuin's. That extra healing can really mitigate the poke and make fights longer and harder. So the fact that they managed to equalize in dragons makes it a much more even game. The goal difference is 4,000, but it's not as relevant when people are approaching full build. Yep. And RNG, we stay with their scaling. There's still always an avenue for V5 to find the big engage with the Wukong Orianna, but it's getting harder and harder as the game goes on. Gala has now just picked up his own GA.
Well, it depends, because Rich is going to go into Mega Gnar. I was about to say, maybe it looks to be started by V5 here, but he knows better. Way gets out after a couple of bit of trade from Rich as he goes Mega Gnar. That's a timer as well, Aux, but it might not matter considering that we don't have Baron for a minute. Dragon comes in 2 minutes as well, and how big is today? Like, our game's going at not only 9 games, but we've had long games, Aux. We've had a pause. It is 1:30 Sydney time. We started at like 7 o'clock. Dude, LEC is into its first game.
There is some people
casting.
There are some people who will have watched all of LEC last night, then gone to sleep and woken up to watch all of LPL today. And I'm one of those people, because I did that.
You are.
And I'm loving it, honestly. This is what we want. More League of Legends all the time. These close, tight team fights. The Karsa is trying to fish for windows. With Rich on the flank, Mega nearly stacked. Any mistake here, any misstep could mean everything. And we look at the summoners, most available. Wei nearly has his flash. Rich nearly has his. They're the only ones down for now.
Photic needs to get out. RNG picking an angle. They know Rich is there. It could be a bait here, but he's about to go Mega Gnar, and they're not going to play with the little dinosaur creature. But look at Xiaohu's damage and Dream being impacted by it. I don't know, Aux. I don't know what he is. It's late, and at this point, I'm ready. RNG, careful. Every step you take, V5 will be watching you, to quote Sting.
Every move you make.
That's right. Well done. V5, though, hang on. Redemption needs to come through. Xiaohu doing so much work. They've picked off Rich. He's without the Mega Gnar. On the way. It's a scatter fight. The ulti misses from Gala. They turn on to Breathe. He's found the pick. Karsa, the genius with the Cyclone. The Monkey King of the Jungle. As RNG now have to fear as Rich heads forward. Xiaohu keeping his space, but Mega Gnar building back up. ppgod applying shields thanks to the loyalty program, but they're just timing towards Dragon. The shockwave comes through from Dream. Xiaohu and Ming burnt down. Way on the wrong side of dodge as well. Karsa's chasing up. The jungler of RNG spotted out, and just like that, V5 maneuver a very tricky Ocean Soul.
And the newest member of RNG is the one who makes the mistake. Xiaohu waiting in base. I don't think you take the package because what's there to take it for? Dragon already gone. Soul secured for V5, and it is huge. You saw that Corki poke. Actually, looks like they're going for it. They want to go for the Baron play. It's now or never, and V5 should just wait this out.
Against RNG right now, knowing they have Ocean Soul advantage, this could be how it ends. One team going home with a loss here today as teleport comes through. One-man ulti for Gala from Rich. He's trying to buy time as V5 pull off. Remember, with that Ocean Soul, they're going to start hitting away as Xiaohu continues to poke here. But Karsa waits over the wall. The lens to spot out. He finds Xiaohu. Cyclone's going to come through, but he's only got Rich. They're outnumbered. RNG have more members here in the Chokers. Way has to ulti out. What a messy late game as Rich is out of the Mega Gnar, poking them down the auto attacks. This guy hitting like a truck, only throwing his boomerangs.
And you can see the sustain being such a... Oh,
package. Okay, Xiaohu going in deeper into the GA. They're able to flush away. V5 is sectioned off, but it's not good. Xiaohu goes in, the carry of RNG. He was the chosen one, Aux. But V5, they're the ones who have the higher ground.
V5 dispatch him. And they take out RNG the first time in a long time. Not since WE took them out in the regular season of spring has RNG dropped a series. But V5, rookie not needed today. Should just be able to close this out. RNG can try and make a miracle defense, but it seems doomed at this point.
It does indeed. It's two members down for 25 seconds. Breathe trying to make sure the opposite happens here as the ulti once again on top of Gala. He's against the wall and he's down. Victory 5. Welcome RNG back from MSI with a 3-game series. But just like we said in the opening segment, we look for Victory 5 to make their dream into a nightmare for the MSI champs.
Oh man, that was a hard-fought game 3. Considering game 1 was an absolute stomp, game 2, RNG struggled, and game 3, I think both teams struggled. That is the safest thing to say. Best of 5 between these two that we missed out on spring would have been fantastic, but we got this best of 3, and man, did it deliver in our match of the week. Mistakes on both sides, I think we can say. Plenty of times throughout the series, and that is going to happen when these players are tested, when they are battling like this. But ultimately, V5 came out ahead with some pivotal moments, and the maneuvering to get that Ocean Soul, denying the poke from the Corki, ppgod with his constant redemptions to heal up. It just felt like they couldn't find the headway, and Rich on this Gnar was a monster, considering the level 1. Fantastic performance.
It was something else entirely, right? A long day, Orcs, a long series, but for Victory 5, holding strong now, still undefeated. They might drop a single game, but V5 sit first. 8-1 right now in the standings. Their game differential the most. It's impressive considering that, you know, for JDG are 5-0, of course, but Victory 5 are this team that failed in playoffs. They got into the top 4, but as a first seed, they got knocked out by top esports. They've come back into summer in a very good way, and it is nice to see in games 1 and game 3 especially that people like Karsa are back to their old self. ppgod and Photic are hitting new highs. Like, Dream is a consistent member in Rookie's wake and is performing like next to a top-tier mid laner.
100%. And I mean, I only have praise for Dream. I think that's the thing is people came in and they're like, look, V5 isn't going to be as good, right? They might even struggle. It might be a bit rough. They're not going to be RNG. Dream can't be as good as Rookie, and the team are so reliant on Rookie. And we see them working well with Dream, really well. And regardless of what happens, chances are Rookie is going to come back and we'll see him play with V5, and V5 will have a fantastic season and probably go to Worlds. I don't know if Dream will see much more play after that, unfortunately. But what I do know is regardless of what happens, this guy has such a future in the LPL, like an absolute fantastic player with so much pressure, so much expectation, stepping into the shoes of Rookie and able to deliver. I'm really optimistic for where he goes from here.
I mean, it's a team that you can kind of break down and look at individual members and highlight throughout. You know, ppgod on the Renata having some good ultis this game. Photic kind of turning it around with some good Fates calls. Dream consistent, Karsa amazing ultis. Like this Wukong again continues to be such a strong pick, Aux. There's a reason it's 80% win rate. It's like 20-6 after today. It's insane that teams let it through.
I think the thing is with the Viego is like if Viego's out of position and trying to fish for opportunities, he has to ult out, and that's a long cooldown. Karsa just pops his W, and it's like it's so hard to pin down Wukong, so hard to kill him. Great engage, you can start the fights. That's the thing, right? You have an enchanter support. You don't have a mid laner like the Sandra. It doesn't matter. Karsa's the one who starts the fights and makes it work. And I mean, you look at how much damage Xiaohu did. It just didn't matter. The sustain, the shielding that came out that just mitigated so much damage from this Corki. Xiaohu did everything he could. And that final package is a bit suspect. I won't deny it, but ultimately it was V5 who come out ahead. And this was a long series after a long day. Real mental fortitude to tough it out.
Yeah, 43 minutes here. It's late for the LPL players. At the moment, in Shanghai, it's 11:30 p.m. So these guys have been playing a series for, what, I think the last 2 hours or so, last 3 hours. It's been a big one for them. And honestly, at the end of the day, V5, that mental fortitude holds strong. Rich must have just flipped a switch.